Rules of the Road, Chapter 26. I steered the Cadillac onto I-20 East and watched the last of Dallas disappear in my rearview mirror. It was so hard to believe, but like my grandmother always said, wherever we go, we take everything we've ever learned with us. Alice was staying in Dallas to visit with friends and gloat. She told me how to keep my bangs wispy and that my hair needed to be cut like clockwork every 6 weeks, or everything she'd done for me would go out the window. She flounced out my skirt and told me to always keep my belt buckle shined. I hugged her for a long time, and then she said, "Oh, we'll see each other again, honey. I'm not through changing your life yet." We didn't stop much along the way. Mrs. Gladstone had to get to work putting traps down around Gladstones to catch the rodents that were sure to crawl in through the pipes. She said she was going to need to be coming back and forth to Texas after her operation to kick butt, and she'd sure like me, her assistant, to be driving her if we could coordinate trips with my school vacations. When we caught sight of the Chicago skyline, it just took my breath away. There isn't a better skyline anywhere with the old and the new combined, with the vision of the architect so proudly maintained. I mentioned that the same thing could happen at Gladstone Shoes, combining the old with the new. Mrs. Gladstone said that she wasn't that old, and I lied and said of course not, and tried to change the subject. Mom and Faith were waiting for me when we pulled onto Astor Street, and they hardly recognized me with my new hairstyle and adult persona. "Your daughter," Mrs. Gladstone said to Mom, "is an extraordinary young woman. It has been an honor to be with her this summer." Mom's lower lip started going, and she said she knew, and I stood tall like the assistant to the director for quality control and didn't cry, even though I wanted to. I pulled the Cadillac into the garage with everybody looking and didn't lurch or lunge once. We all helped Mrs. Gladstone with her bags, and she said she'd see me Monday morning for brainstorming. "Yes, ma'am. You want me to pick you up?" "Well, of course I do." Sorry. Mrs. Gladstone got strict when she was feeling emotional. We spent days catching up. Faith told me how she visited Grandma every Tuesday when I was gone. She even wrote down what happened at each visit, so she wouldn't forget to tell me, and showed me her notes. Little sisters do have their moments. She said that Grandma called her Jenna twice, and once Grandma remembered her name. "I didn't do it as well as you, Jenna, but you did great, Faith." I did better with Grandma than I did with Dad. Dad started calling the house drunk late at night a week after I left. Faith was home alone. I couldn't understand him half the time, Jenna. I wanted to talk to him, tell him what I was doing, but you can't talk to him when he's drunk. We got the unlisted number and the call stopped. Faith's eyes got sad. "I never knew what you had to go through, Jenna. I never understood how you protected me." I shrugged and said it was no big deal. "It's a big deal," Faith assured me. Mom got a raise and a new boyfriend while I was gone. The raise didn't take much getting used to. The boyfriend did. Even though Mom assured me we're taking it very, very slow. Not that I didn't like Evan right off. He didn't try to win me over like some men do. He was just funny and knew all about computers. I just expected Mom and Faith to be exactly the same when I got back. No changes. I knew this wasn't fair because of how I'd changed. We'd all been on journeys this summer. I was walking through Lincoln Park, my favorite thinking place, past the South Pond with the paddle boats and duck feeders. I walked up Dickens to Clark Street, heading to Opal's house, when my father pulled up beside me in a little gray Saturn. How did he find me? He motioned inside the car. I wasn't ready for this. "Okay, Dad." I got in. It wasn't till he started down Clark Street that I realized he'd been drinking. Dad, stop. He shook his head like he was trying to clear it, grabbed the wheel tighter, veered the car away from a bicyclist. Dad! I'm okay, Jenna girl. He kept going, swerving. You're not okay. Stop the car. He didn't. He turned right on Armitage. Tires squeaking, almost rammed into a stop sign. Dad, you're drunk. Stop the car. I'm driving here, Jenna girl. No, you're not driving anymore. Who's going to stop me? I'm not going to be roadkill, Dad. Do you hear me? I said, do you hear me? I tried to take the wheel from him, but he pushed me away. How do I stop the car? I looked madly around. Couldn't reach the brakes. Couldn't take the keys out. Think. I shoved the gear into neutral, pulled like crazy on the handbrake between us. Work. Hey, Dad shouted as the car went slower, and then finally stopped, just short of hitting a parked van. No more, Dad. A policewoman got out of a patrol car, ran toward us. I pushed the door open, jumped out. This is the hardest thing I've ever had to do, I shouted. This man is my father. He's been driving drunk. What are you doing? Dad bellowed. Step out of the car, sir, said the officer. Dad did. Not well. Sir, have you been drinking? Dad looked down, swayed a little. Nah. She gave him the alcohol balloon test. Dad reeled in front of the little white balloon, finally blew it up in seconds. My father became an official drunk driver. Sir, I'm going to have to bring you in. Ah. Dad shook his head, looked through me like I wasn't there, and was let off. It could have been you who killed him, Dad. It could have been you. I ran home, pumping my long legs, stretching faster and faster on each block. I took the stairs to our apartment, 2 at a time, and crashed against the front door. I'm okay. I said this as much for myself as for my mother as I ran past her and Evan. They were sitting at the dining room table eating brie and oatmeal crackers, gazing into each other's eyes. Jenna? Mom got up and started after me. She was in her white nurse pantsuit with her name tag. Carol Bowler, RN. Her hair was extra curly because of the humidity. I held up my hands. I'm fine. You're not. If you both watch closely, you can see me fall apart. Ready? I ran through the kitchen, ran past Faith, who was making an egg salad sandwich, ran into the bathroom that Faith and I shared, locked the old scratched door with the bent copper key, kicked aside the hairdryer on the floor, turned on the shower full blast. I shook off my stacked leather shoes, threw off my clothes, pushed back the ornamental fish shower curtain, and climbed in. I threw back my aching head as the water pulsated over me. I hated him. Terrified teen has drunk father arrested. I closed my eyes, stuck my face directly under the warm spray. Just wash it off me. I saw in my mind Dad staggering home when I was small, sitting there in his white bathrobe, hungover when I'd come home from school. I never wanted friends to come home with me. Daddy's sick. That's what we'd say. The water pounded my face, my neck. I washed myself 3 times. I remember when I cut my foot and was in the hospital getting stitches. Everything is scary when you're 6. Dad walked in holding the biggest stuffed element in the world. I slammed the memory blinds shut. Just let the water do its work. Clean teen faces world, vows to fight on. I turned off the shower, thankful for the fog that had settled on the mirror, which meant I didn't have to see myself. The towels were heavy with wetness. I dried myself as best I could, put on my yellow terry cloth robe. A knock rapped at the door. Jenna? It was my mother. I unlocked the bathroom door to her worried face. Evan's gone, she said. Mom hadn't had a boyfriend in a long time. Did he leave because of me? He left because it was the right thing to do. Mom planted her emergency room nurse shoes in front of me, like she did when she had to give a patient a shot who didn't want one. "Tell me," she said. I leaned against the door, told her. I didn't cry. Mom pushed her own angry tears away. "Don't cry, Mom. I know how much you hate him." She went into ER nurse mode, sitting me down, getting me water. Was I all right? Yes. Hurt in any way? No. I did want her to stay home tonight. Did I want her to stay home tonight? Not going to work? She'd be happy to. No. We sat on the wobbly wooden stools as night fell on the kitchen. Mother and daughter trying to reach each other, but more than anything, just swallowing the pain.